Hi everyone, my name is Kaylee and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Okay everybody, hello, happy hopefully Saturday. If my camera settings look a little off, I'm sorry. I have been messing around with my camera way too much and I think I did something to it and here we are. So I don't really have any updates for you guys other than my nails look absolutely atrocious because I've been having a lot of bad anxiety and I decided to bite them all off. Not my fingers, my nails. I don't have any updates for you guys other than that, so let's get into today's story time. I'm gonna bring you guys up close. There we go. I'm not showing you guys the other side of my hands right now because they look so bad. Anyways, for those of you who may be new here, I'm going to do my quick usual little rundown for most of the video. I will be looking in this direction because my mirror's over here and I would like to see what I'm doing. I do tell these story times in a first person point of view, so if you don't like that, then you can leave. And these story times are sent in by anonymous people. Okay, sorry y'all, I had to do my eyebrows off camera because it was just not working. Story time about how my boyfriend sent my nudes to his best friend. Yeah, so a little background information. I was 17 years old and a junior in high school when I met my boyfriend Ethan. Before we started dating, he made it known that he wanted me. Like, he would wait outside of every single one of my classes. He would buy me snacks at lunch. He would even repost my pictures on Instagram and be like, oh my goodness, the prettiest girl ever. Like, he did not care that it looked like he was a simp for me. And to be honest, I loved it. The beginning of our relationship was great. My friends really liked him, my parents really liked him. Everybody thought that he was an amazing guy. Not only that, but just to add this in here, he was very much a chameleon. Like, I had different friend groups for different things. Like, there were certain ones that I could make certain jokes with and other ones where I couldn't make those same jokes. And surprisingly, he fit in well with every single one of my friend groups. Because that was one thing that I was worried about. I'm like, oh my goodness, are they gonna hate him? Because he had a very fucked up sense of humor just like myself. But no, he blended in quite well. But fast forward about 2 months later, him and I start dating and red flags start appearing everywhere. Everywhere. One day I'm at my locker and I'm talking to one of my guy friends. And he's telling me about how him and his girlfriend got into a fight and he doesn't know what to do because she won't talk to him. And it wasn't like this was out of the ordinary. Like, he would usually come to me whenever he needed relationship advice. And as we're talking, I look down the hallway and I see Ethan with a group of his friends and he's literally just giving me the death stare. But I'm like not sure if he's zoned out or something, because I know sometimes I'll be zoned out and I'll just like have the resting bitch face and then all of a sudden I realize that I'm staring at someone like they just killed my firstborn child and I'm like, oh, like, hi, you know, blah blah blah, whatever. So yeah, I smile at him and I wave, and obviously he was not just staring off into space because he looks at me, gives me a dirty look, and then he turns his back to me, which I thought was really weird. So I'm like, oh, okay, wonder what that's about. So next period rolls around and he texts me and he's like, who was that guy that you were with? And I'm like, oh, that's James, he's my friend. And he was like, no guy just wants to be friends with a girl. And I'm like, Ethan, what are you talking about? And he was like, he's definitely using that as a reason to get close to you. And I was like, listen, Ethan, even before you and I started dating, he would come to me for relationship advice. There was never once anything ever going on between him and I. Like, trust, if he wanted me, he would have made a move a while ago. And he goes, okay, I guess I just don't want to get played. And I'm like, no, I get that. Nobody wants to get played. And after this, I start to feel really guilty because I never wanted him to ever feel like I would do that to him. And honestly, I had convinced myself that that situation is what started the lack of trust issues that he had for me. But as time went on, I realized that no matter what I did, this was always going to be the outcome of our relationship, or these trust issues were just inevitable, because all of a sudden me having privacy was an issue. When him and I would hang out, if I would be texting somebody, he would come over and grab my phone out of my hand and be like, who's this? But actually, he would do it in a joking way so that way it didn't come off toxic. Like, he wouldn't come over, rip my phone out of my hand and be like, who are you texting? He would be like, ooh, who are you texting? Like, listen, I hate fake people. If you're toxic, just fucking be toxic. Rip that shit out of my hand and be like, who the fuck are you texting, okay? Don't try to play it off. I just can't stand it. Anyways, embrace that shit or get help. please. Anyways, next came social media. Yes, sir. If I posted a picture on my story, he would be like, why did you post this? Or if I commented or liked one of our friends' pictures, he'd be like, why did you comment on this? Or why did you like this? And it's not like I was commenting hard eyes under a guy's picture. It would be a picture of me and my friend group who a guy posted on his Instagram or something like that. It was never that deep. So then he says, I think that we should have each other's passwords for social media. And I was like, really? Because sir, what do you mean we should have each other's passwords? I'm sorry, but that's literally just a recipe for a disaster. Like, if you don't trust me that bad, just leave. Just leave. Don't put yourself through that. Anyways, and so I'm like, I don't know, I just don't think that we need to be doing all that. And he was like, I feel like if we don't have anything to hide from each other, why wouldn't we have each other's passwords? And I'm like, but since we trust each other, why do we have to do that? And he was like, since we trust each other, why wouldn't we do that? And I didn't have a rebuttal for that. So I was like, okay, fine. And I gave him my passwords to everything. And when I say everything, I mean, this man even wanted my password to my private memories on Snapchat. And I gave it to him. Stupidly. And then of course I was right. Like I said, recipe for disaster, because he starts going through my DMs with my ex, and then he starts sending me screenshots of these messages being like, I don't want you to call me baby anymore because you used to call him baby. How can you tell me that you love me whenever you used to say it to him after only 2 weeks of dating? But y'all, the thing is, the relationship that he's sending me screenshots of was a relationship that I was in 8th grade that only lasted for 2 months. So fast forward, not only was it not enough that he had full control over my social media, but then he started criticizing all my friends. And no, I'm not talking about that guy that I would give relationship advice to. No, I'm talking about my close friends, especially my cheerleading friends, because I was on the varsity cheer team and he would tell me that they're all fake and they weren't really my friends and they were all bad influences. Like, for example, one of my friends, Avery, she's known for sleeping around. But my thing is she's not a friend that I hang out with outside of school. But she hangs out with the group of kids who usually smoke weed and drink and party, which was honestly most kids in high school. But me, on the other hand, I have more of an interest of becoming an influencer. You know, making little get ready with me videos and mini vlog videos. So I wasn't taking part in any of that. Anyways, like I said, he is convinced that a lot of my friends are not only bad influences, but fake, and that they're using me. He would say things like, you don't see what I see, and you can't see the forest through the trees, meaning that because I'm in the situation, I can't see the things that are really going on. Which, I'm not gonna lie, the little things that he would point out to me from the outside looking in, you would interpret this as, yeah, this person may be using you, low-key. Like, for example, there's this one girl, Abigail, that I'm friends with, who I drive to and from school every day because she only lives 5 minutes away from my house. Like, her and I aren't close, but we're still friends. And he was like, I bet if you didn't have a car, she wouldn't talk to you, which I knew wasn't true, but she ended up getting a car eventually, and our friendship did fade a little bit, but it was more so because the only time that her and I had together was in the car. We didn't really have any classes together, and it's not like one day she found out that I had a car and she pretended to be my friend. No. Back in my sophomore year, her and I were best friends. We used to hang out all the time, and I finally got my car and I was like, hey, I can just drive you to and from school. And ever since then, that's kind of how we've kept our friendship without it fading out over time. Anyways, so when he would tell me things like that, it would definitely make me overthink certain situations. And so I started isolating myself unintentionally from certain people, because in my head I'm like, well, I don't want anybody using me. I don't want fake friends around me. Maybe he does know what's best. Now, I don't think it was just my cheerleading friends that he hated. I think that he hated me doing cheer overall because he seemed very triggered by it, like genuinely. And by that, I mean, when him and I had first started talking and dating, he was so supportive, so supportive. Like, you know how you usually make posters for the players? Well, he would make posters for me and he would literally print out my face, glue it on the poster board with some cute stuff, and he was just overly supportive. But it's like, as he should be. Every boyfriend should be like that. But then he started being really weird. And I just want to make something really clear real quick. In public, he made it seem like he was very supportive. He would always post a picture of me after the game. Like, he had a image that he liked people to see, and he wanted to keep it that way, because in private, he would be super weird. And by weird, I mean he would start fights with me right before the games, saying things like he wanted to break up with me, and things like he feels like I don't care about him, or that I have something going on with one of the football players. Because there was this one guy, Jeremy, who really liked me, and I had literally been rejecting him for years, but he really didn't care. He kind of kept harassing me. But like I said, he would start these fights with me right before the games. And usually the routine was I would get ready, go pick him up, and we would go to the games together. But I don't even know when this started. Eventually, I would go pick him up. He would be super distant in the car. And then as soon as we would get there, he would just look at me and be like, I don't think that I'm as important to you as cheerleading. I think you put so many other things above me. You don't really care about me. You don't care about this relationship. And at that point, I would be sobbing and crying. My mascara is usually everywhere. While I'm trying to tell him that I love him so much, he means the most to me, and I would never try to purposely make him feel like I don't care about him. But then he would be like, I don't know, I just need to think about some things. And then he would get out of the car, and I remember the first time this happened, I literally had to drive to CVS, get makeup remover, take all of my makeup off, try to make myself look the least bit presentable to be able to walk out onto the field. But by the time I had got to the school, I wasn't allowed to cheer because it was so late. So I had to sit on the bench. And then the next time that this happened, I had to do the same thing because I didn't think that I needed to keep the makeup remover in my car because, you know, I thought this was a one-time fight that we had. But no, after this, I literally had to keep makeup remover and cotton rounds in my car, just in case, because I never knew whenever he was gonna just go psycho. And then y'all, the thing that pushed me over the edge. So as you could probably tell by now, cheerleading is very important to me. Like, after high school, I wanted to continue cheerleading in college. Well, one night, Ethan and I are on FaceTime, and things start to get a little bit steamy, and we end up doing the nasty over the phone. And I didn't know that Ethan had taken screenshots of me, but he did. And the next day I walk into school, and I'm called down to the principal's office as soon as first period starts. And I kind of already felt like something was wrong because I had people looking at me strange all morning. And I knew something was even more wrong whenever I got into the office and all the teachers are also looking at me sideways. So yeah, I get into the principal's office and I find out that pictures of me are being spread around school. Immediately after this, I have a meeting with my coach and she temporarily suspends me from the team while they do an investigation. Now, at first, I'm not really freaking out too much because my thing is I don't even know if these pictures are me. Not only that, I definitely did not think that my boyfriend, I didn't think they could be from last night. No. Oh, men and boys, stop it. So I go to class and I sit next to my friend and she was like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, why? And she was like, well, because of the pictures. And I was like, yeah, what is this about? And apparently she was the one who told the principal about this. And I was like, I don't even think it's me. And she was like, girl, it's you. Now I'm kind of freaking out. Now I'm freaking out. She shows me the pictures, and y'all, these are live photos of me. Yep, the live photos and everything, and it's definitely me. Everybody can tell it's me. At that point, cut me from the team. No investigation needed. It's me. Yeah, like I really just wish that I could have pulled a Cat in Euphoria and been like, what, you think that's me because I'm big? Couldn't do that. No. Not at all. Anyways, and obviously I realized that these are from last night's FaceTime with Ethan. Yay! So I text Ethan and I'm like, why would you do this to me? And he was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, why would you send somebody pictures of me from last night? And he was like, OMG, I sent them to one of my friends as a joke. And I'm like, why would you even do that? Like, let me get this straight. You sent one of your friends pictures of your girlfriend while she's naked as a joke. Who the fuck does that? Like, they literally kicked me off the cheer team because of this shit. And of course, instead of taking accountability, because men and accountability in the same sentence just don't exist, he was like, well, why did you FaceTime someone naked if you knew that those would be the repercussions if something got spread around? And then he has the nerve to say, if you really cared about cheerleading that much, you wouldn't have done it in the first place. And I was like, let's just get this straight. I didn't FaceTime somebody random. I FaceTimed my boyfriend. And y'all, when I tell you he literally said tomato, tomato, I wanted to reach through my phone and choke him. I wanted to choke him, genuinely. After this, I told him that I was breaking up with him and he just laughed at the text. So I blocked him because how disrespectful can you be? Genuinely. You just sent pictures of your girlfriend in a very vulnerable state to your friends. And then you laugh whenever I tell you that it hurt me. Like, what a fucking prick. Oh, and then you think it's funny that I want to break up with you. I had my mom pick me up early from school that day, and I decided not to go to school for the rest of the week. But the day that my mom picked me up, she decided to take my phone away because she was like, am I upset that you FaceTimed your boyfriend naked? Yes. Does it mean that I don't love you anymore? No. I still love you, and I don't want you hurting yourself over this. So I'm gonna take your phone away until you go back to school Monday because I think you need a break. And low-key, she was right. Because finally, Monday rolls around. And believe it or not, yes, I was anxious without my phone, but it was actually nice to disconnect. But anyways, I go and grab my phone before I leave the house. I go to the car, I turn my phone on to play some music, and as soon as my phone turned on, ding, 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 phone starts blowing up with messages. A lot of them were from Ethan asking me to please pick up the phone, telling me that he was sorry and he loved me and he wishes he could take everything back. And then there are text messages right after, like probably 2 hours after he sent those, saying, just kidding, LOL, you deserve to be kicked off the cheer team, you're a slut, and I deserve everything that's coming to me. And then there were text messages from girls that I was friends with. They were telling me that Ethan told them that I was talking shit on them. And I had told Ethan some secrets that some of my friends had told me, and it wasn't so that way he could go and spread these things around. It was because I would vent to him and be like, I don't know what I should do, blah, blah, blah. But I guess he used everything that I told him to fuck me over and ruin my life. So do you guys remember Jeremy, the one who was obsessed with me? Yeah, well, he was one of the people that messaged me while I had my phone taken away. And his message said, hey, I saw the stuff that got sent around. I'm really sorry that happened to you. If you ever need to talk to anybody, I'm here. So I texted him back and I told him about how depressed I was and how I felt like hurting myself. And he was just like really there for me, which I was thankful for. And when I told him the part about hurting myself, he was like, no, please don't do that. Like, I'm gonna talk to Ethan. We're gonna get this all figured out. Which I'm not gonna lie, yes, it felt good to have somebody on my side and want to protect me. But I was also terrified because I did not know what else Ethan had up his sleeve, and I didn't want to find out. So I was like, no, please don't worry about it. Like, I just want the situation to be over and done with. And he was like, okay, I'm sorry. Like, I was just kidding. I won't do anything. But he was in fact not kidding, because later on Monday night, I see a video on one of Jeremy's friends' stories. I look at it and it's a video of Ethan walking to his car after work and Jeremy confronting him. And by confronting him, I mean beating the literal shit out of him, like really bad. And then 20 minutes later, I'm tagged in a story from that same friend, and it's a video of Jeremy with his arm up against Ethan's neck while Ethan's up against a wall. There's blood coming out of Ethan's nose, his busted lip, I'm pretty sure he was missing a fucking tooth. And Jeremy was like, so what did you want to say? And Ethan was like, I'm sorry. And Jeremy was like, speak the fuck up, and like push his neck further against the wall. And yeah, then Jeremy reposted that on his story saying, if I hear anybody talking about this situation in front of me, all of y'all can get it. And y'all, that's a real fucking friend, because I don't know a lot of people who would do that. Anyway, so there was this one girl who kept bullying me about it. Every time that she would walk past me, she would call me a slut and a whore. And I had told Jeremy about it because I didn't think that he was gonna go and beat up a girl. Because he was like, oh, has anybody been bothering you? And I'm like, surprisingly, no. There's this one girl, but I'm pretty sure that after a few months, she'll forget about it. Well, he made sure that she was gonna fucking forget about it because him and his sister both went to a party that she was at in ski masks and beat her up. Yeah, I guess she did not get the memo. Now I know that some of you guys are probably like, okay, so like y'all have to be together now. There's no way. We are not in a relationship. We ended up staying friends, but we are very good friends. And I wasn't allowed back on the cheer team after this. Not really a surprise. But here we are at the end of the school year, and I have a new group of friends who are genuine and actually care about me, because all of my old friends wanted nothing to do with me after this whole situation, except for the one who went to the principal about the pictures being spread around. She's a real one. And I haven't heard from Ethan since. I mean, I did hear that he's going to be going to a different school next year, which thank God, because my senior year is going to be so much better not having to see that freak. Okay, everybody, that is the end of today's story time. If you guys like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more, you hit that subscribe button down below. And if you want to know whenever I post my next video, make sure to click that bell. And if you guys want to send in your anonymous story time, or you want to know how to send in your anonymous story time, make sure to click the links down below in the description. But other than that, I will see you guys next time with a new story time. Okay guys, real quick, I just want to show you how pretty the sunset is. Like, can you guys see that? It's so pretty.